Grayson.
And our goal is to build benches along the Dakota Trail for people to relax after bike rides, walks, and runs. So some of our materials we need 24 2x4 pieces of wood. We need 2x2 wood for the legs on the bench. We need drill, handsaw. We kind of already have those materials, and then we need paint and screws.
We made a logo. This is our logo, and then this is what our benches. This is what we're trying to make our bench look like, and then we made a poster, and our poster says that we are making benches for people to relax after runs and walks, and we are adding like porta potties and stuff.
So to donate the money, we kind of had our posters to advertise, and we have my phone number on there so they could call me and then just kind of find me at school to donate, and we just kind of spread the word with our posters that we had in the last slide.
For our budget was $600 on the project overall. We spent most of our budget, or we're spending most of our budget on the wood, and then a small fraction of it on the nails and screws, and then tools up there, I might say $0 still. I'm not quite sure, but that's because we mainly have most of the tools, just not all of the tools needed, but mostly we have the main tools required for the project, and we also have like a pretty high budget for this because we don't know how much money we're gonna need really in general for the wood, but our initial goal is just to make like 4 or 5 benches at most, and then we just kind of calculated each bench is $100 just because like that's how much with the manual labor of and the people using the tools too, because if we actually ended up hiring other people, we'd have to pay them, of course, or just gives them more credit with it or something, whatever they need. So that's why our budget is pretty high. Our dates, we started this project started on September 9th, and we started the money campaign on September 15th, and it's ending today on October 31st.
Okay, our first problem is that we're gonna need permission to put the benches on Dakota Trail, and our second problem is like we like getting the money in general. We have like a basic understanding, but we just need like more in depth, and those are our problems.
Thank you for listening to our idea. How much do you bench? Any questions?
What are your next steps then with this project?
Probably just carrying on the project and actually building the benches, and we also have to get permission where to place them on like the Dakota Trail or just any trail that we can, or just even around the city of Mound, because like people get tired after walks and there's not very many rest areas or just like places. I mean, there's a few benches, but not many outside of like the just certain lengths, but it'd be nicer if we had more spots, because especially for sometimes people have long bike rides and then they want somewhere to sit, but that's not really anywhere outside of like either in a restaurant or just somewhere that's not in another distance away. So we want it to be as simple and as just close to them as possible.
So do you know how to go about getting that permission to put benches?
Probably first of all we have to ask the town and the city, and then we also would have to like also probably get help from like just people like just city workers to help us find places that would actually be suitable for that, and then we would also want like places for them to go where it's not like within range of other benches that have already been there, but a good distance so there's spacing, but not too much spacing so you can get your rest.
Kind of covered mine, but do you have ideas for expanding your fundraising beyond Grandview?
Yeah, well, with our posters
Or
and
your
then,
advertising,
yeah, kind of,
We can make a website too.
yeah, we're gonna make a website.
and share that how
Yeah.
then?
Yeah.
You just put it out?
Henri.
What if you don't make all the money?
If we don't make the money, then we can just make less benches, because we already have some of the nails too, and the tools, like I said, So we shouldn't need too much money to get wood, and we could also probably get some old wood from a lumber yard just to make it, because then that'd be more cost effective. But we're trying to make everything as new as we can, but if we can't, then we can just use old resources and just use that, and that also kind of helps the climate of this, because then you're not just wasting old wood and you can reuse it. Alexa.
Are they gonna be designed like White Hawks, or is it just like?
On the material slide, we said waterproof red paint, so it's gonna be sort of White Hawk styled, but it's also just gonna be like that, so it's more weather resistant and has more like, just like against the elements protection. Mason.
Is that stuff gonna be like varnished so it can't get waterlogged, the wood, so it doesn't like rot? Cause if it, like, the wood did rot, would you guys build new benches or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's what our plan is, so then it doesn't, so then we don't have to go back and replace it or something, cause these are supposed to just be kinda quicker, easier rest stops that don't take too much, time to build, but they also don't cost too much. The reason we just had our budget so high is like I said, like the tool cost and cost of wood if we buy new wood, cause it's pretty expensive.
Okay, awesome.
Do you guys use the trail a lot, so that's like why it's important to you, and that's like why you chose to do it there?
Personally, I use the trail a lot just because I live very close to it, so after the construction, I use it to get to friends' houses, because sometimes it's way quicker than just cutting on the main road, safer too. But when I go there, it's usually, it feels like a long time before I get a break. I mean, you can always cut off on the side, but it's like, you don't want to necessarily sit in the grass, or sometimes people just want something like a little more nice, or a little more just something, and it can also be just good advertising for the White Hawks or something, since we're putting the red paint on it, so.